Hi everyone, my name is Rajesh and in this video I'm going to answer about one of the points that I frequently hear when I take the interviews for the ERP consultant fresher jobs. Now whenever I ask the candidates that okay, tell me if you have understood this profile correctly, and if yes, then what exactly is your understanding, what are you going to do as the ERP functional consultant in this role? And then I often hear the answer that, okay, we are the business people. So we know the finance, we know the supply chain management, we know the human capital management. And that is where what we are going to do is we are going to act as a bridge between, let's say, the business and the developer or a coder or an engineer or a tech person. So what we are going to do is we are going to, let's say, talk to the business, understand their requirements, that what exactly they want in their system or how exactly their ERP system needs to be developed. And then we will simply communicate those requirements to the technical people or to the coders. And then the coders will actually code and develop the system according to the requirement of the client. This is absolutely not true. I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying like that. Especially if we think about the tier 1 ERPs like Oracle or SAP or Microsoft, then what typically happens is 90-95% of these systems already come as pre-coded or pre-built system. And that is where in first place there is a very less need of developing or coding anything in order to prepare this system or make this system ready to use. These are not custom built software. These are not the softwares that are kind of built from scratch. And that is where in first place the role of a coder or a developer or a technical person or an engineer is very limited when it comes to the implementation of tier 1 ERPs like Oracle Cloud or SAP S4 HANA or Microsoft Dynamics 365 and so on and so forth. So if the role of the technical person or a coder itself is limited, then there is no question of you being the bridge between that coder and the business. Then okay, if you are not going to be the bridge, then what exactly you are going to do? The answer is that you yourself are going to do a lot of configuration or lot of work on the system. And that's where, like, even as I have covered in my previous videos also, one of those, if you have not watched, I'm giving the link over here. So in that video I have already covered that this is a lot of technical job. So the technicality comes into this particular part. As a functional consultant, even as a functional consultant or even as a business expert, you are not just supposed to talk to the business and get their requirements. Your role is not limited to that. What you need to do entirely is, yes, first of all, you need to talk to the business people, understand their requirements. Secondly, you yourself need to configure those requirements into the system. And that's how you are going to make that system ready for the business's use. So if this is the case, then what is the role of engineers or coders or tech people in these ERP consulting roles? They also have a role to perform. As I said, these softwares are pre-built to the extent of 80, 85, 90%. But then other 10% of the part generally consists of something called integrations or custom report development or custom solution development. What is that? So integration is something like, as we have already covered in our past videos, so there are multiple systems that the client is going to use alongside this ERP system. And that is where those systems also need to be connected or also need to talk to their ERP system, so that some data gets transferred from the ERP system to these third party systems, or some data gets transferred vice versa, like from these third party systems to the ERP systems. So for establishing those kind of integrations between these two systems, the technical consultants help or the expertise is needed. Similarly, every client will need the reports in their custom built format. So for example, they are creating a purchase order. Now every business's purchase order will be unique, like that will have the unique format, they will have their own logo, they will have different fields printed at different place on a paper. And that's how for developing those kind of custom reports, there is a need of technical people. Thirdly, the custom solutions. So as I said, all of these ERP softwares, or let's say at least the tier 1 ERP softwares, these are all standardized softwares. And that's where in some businesses belonging to some industries or some regions, they might have certain requirements that are not getting fulfilled by the standard offerings that these particular ERPs are providing. And that's the situation where some custom solutions need to be built. Now, what is a custom solution? Custom solution is something which are developed from scratch. So the front end or the back end, the database tables, all the components of a system to work are developed from scratch. Now, if you are not aware of these components, again, we have already covered these components in one of our previous videos, and I'm giving the link over here. So in such cases, to build the custom solutions, again, the need of tech people or the developers or the coders is there. So for 10-15% of the work, which involves customs reports, integrations, and the custom solutions, there is a need of technical people. So as an ERP functional consultant, do not say in any interview that you are going to be just a bridge between the business and the technical people. You yourself are going to do the configuration of the system. So your role is going to be this complete role, like understanding the requirements plus doing the configurations, and not just being the bridge between the business and the tech people. That's all for today. Thank you everyone for watching this video. With the advent of cloud, the ERP solutions are becoming more and more affordable. And that's where even the small and mid-scale organizations are increasingly opting for ERP softwares. What it means for us is ERP consulting as a career option is now more lucrative than ever. So if you are a fresher finance, commerce, and management graduate and want to build your career in the ERP consulting industry, then go visit www.yourerpcoach.com and hit that inquire button right now.